Hey guys, just wanted to do a little quick talk here this afternoon. I know that last week we talked about persistence and resilience. And I know I was talking to Doug the other day and he said, what are you going to talk about this week? And I said, well, I'm going to talk about a topic that I've tried to figure out how to explain. I know today I probably won't do it justice either, for 28 years. And which I believe is the heartbeat of entrepreneurship. It's the heartbeat of succeeding and winning, and that topic is called resourcefulness. And I think for Jan and I and our journey of success over the years, now 30 years in this growth mindset perspective of building assets and multiple streams of income, I believe truly it was our resourcefulness at the beginning and the continuation of that really provided the foundation for us to succeed to the level we had. We're no way where we want to be. We still got lots of areas to grow and to develop, but it was resourcefulness and allowing me to think on my feet and to be creative. I jotted down some notes because I know that's the only way that I could probably confine my thoughts into 7 or 8 minutes here. And I know even Dexter, the first audios I listened to, his first book he wrote, and the first book that I read of his was Don't Let Anybody Steal Your Dream. And in both the audio and the book, he emphasized the importance of getting people to think and to think for themselves and to make decisions and not to rely on what other people thought or making decisions based on what other people would want you to do and how to make a decision. And so that resourcefulness, that taking the bull by the horns and not be in a box, so to speak, was really bred into me from my first introduction to books, my first introduction to positive growth mindset audios, was having that resourcefulness. Resourcefulness is the ability to find creative ways to solve problems. When faced with challenges, you look outside the box to solve them. You're not always confined. We always talk about people have paralysis of analysis. They just overthink things. They want to, make sure that it's in the box. It's all cookie cutter, and it's just not the way life is, and especially when you deal with people. And you got to confront adverse situations with ingenuity and passion. You got to be excited. And, we use a term, you got to kind of fake it till you make it, but you got to have that belief that, you have the answer, you can get the answer, and you can lead. They always say the person with the most confidence in a conversation wins. Even if that confidence is not necessarily backed up with complete understanding of the topic, the passion that flows through you and the belief that flows through you is what sets the tone. And see what others do not know, and know how to connect the dots. I think a couple of stories for me that I could relate to was one, my father-in-law, Jack, Jan's dad, and he was an avid hunter. I think he spent half his life in the bush. And, we'd go hunting or we'd go for a walk in the bush, and his understanding and perspective of things that was going on in the bush, in the wilderness, with animals, with the tree, with everything on. He was just so much more aware of things. And even my own dad, being raised on a farm, being around animals, he had that ability to, know that an animal was not healthy before I think the animal knew it was not healthy. But it's just having that heightened awareness, that belief, that ability, that resourcefulness, that you can make some things happen. And so a benefit of resourcefulness is that, which will pleasantly surprise you, is that when you learn to be resourceful, what it does is it heightens your self-development. You begin to develop faster because you all of a sudden start to believe, well, I can solve things. I can do things. I remember, having this thought that if one man can do it, another man can do it. So if one man has succeeded at this, why can't I do it? All I have to do is learn to be resourceful, learn the skill set. And so what that does is improves your self-confidence, your self-worth. Everything goes through the roof because you've learned to be resourceful. As you develop resourcefulness, it helps you reflect on your current mindsets. Because obviously there's things that we need to change. There's things that we need to grow. That's what a growth mindset is. And so if you have resourcefulness, it allows you to have that, ability to analyze, that after action review, if you will, to say, okay, well, what could I have done better? Instead of beating yourself up and being in a negative self-talk situation, resourcefulness allows you to say, okay, I'll do this better this way, this better this way. That's why I always had a keen interest in listening to people and really genuinely caring about what they were all about, what they did for a living, how that worked, because that allowed me to have more resourcefulness and take from that conversation, put it in the memory bank. So in another conversation with somebody else, I could pull on that information. And so this again builds resilience. It builds persistence, what we talked about last week. And what it really does, it is heightens your grit factor, and it makes you believe that you can see things through, that you can solve problems on the fly. And why would you quit? All you have to do is be more resistful. And that's really what the grit factor is all about. You know, in the book, Coach Wooden's Pyramid of Success, obviously the author is legendary basketball coach, John Wooden. He says resourcefulness is using our wits, our proper judgment, and our common sense to solve problems and to meet challenges. You know, we often say common sense isn't that common. You just see what people do, the decisions they make, you know, with time, with money, with people, and it's like, what are they thinking? You know, and so John Wooden says it's very key to have that proper judgment and common sense. It's using initiative in difficult situations. It involves inventing. It involves creating. It involves imagining, elevating, classifying, observing, and analyzing situations to overcome the trials that life throws you. You know, I often think, you know, in one of our assets today in the construction management field, you know, you see, and this, you know, back in the day when I learned that trade, you know, it was in a time in history which some of you don't even comprehend, but we didn't have cell phones. Okay, so when you went to a site, you had to solve the problem. You couldn't just pick up the phone. Now, you know, as soon as somebody gets to a site and they don't have whatever, and they don't have an answer, they don't know what to quite do, they don't think, all they do is pick up the cell phone and call somebody to solve the problem for them. And what they're not doing is they're not becoming resourceful. They're not learning. They're not expanding their trade. They're not gaining confidence. And so all they do is pick up the phone and call. And so I see that every day. Resourcefulness is dreaming up ways to meet your goals. You know, I often said our fallback before this growth mindset is that we put our goals in sand and our plan in concrete, right? I never thought I could do anything else except work with my hands and manual labor. I never thought I could work with my head. And so consequently, when we got to the point where our goal was supposed to be hit, we hadn't hit it. The height of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. We were doing the same thing over and over. We weren't being resourceful. So finally, I developed a resourceful growth mindset, and I started understanding that I put my goals in concrete and my plan in sand. And so all of a sudden, we started finding and creating ways and dreaming up ways to hit our goals. Why? Because we would not be denied. We were resourceful. Resourcefulness is a mindset that you embrace. It involves discipline. Right? You got to be disciplined to be resourceful. You got to have dedication. You got to work hard. So many people are afraid of working hard. Hard work is a requirement of success. It's a requirement of entrepreneurism. It's confidence. It's willingness. And if you don't have the answer, then you figure out how to get the answer or who has the answer so that you can solve the problem, you know, which forces you really to use the mentorship. I think, you know, and again, I'm speaking to the choir oftentimes when I make notes and do this, I'm speaking to myself. And what I wrote here is, which forces you to use the mentorship that has been made available to you. If you're watching this, this is not the first time you've heard about mentorship. Many of you in your mind probably already think you have a mentor. Are you properly using them? Are you properly, you know, learning how to solve problems so that you can solve them on your own? You know, again, a whole another topic, maybe something I can do next week is about learning how to solve problems. There's a 4-step process to do that. And why do you want to learn how to solve problems? Well, you want to learn how to solve problems because in life, you get paid in direct proportion to your ability to solve problems. The bigger the problem, the bigger your income. And so that's why you have to learn. And in the beginning, if you want to learn and be resourceful, you know, I bounced off my mentor, okay, this is the problem. And I waited for an answer. Okay. And then the next step, and I'll, you know, maybe save this and do this next week. But the next step was, you know, I put some thought into it. You know, I said, okay, here's the problem. This is what I think. And so we'll maybe get into that next week about solving problems. But I just wanted to share with you today, you know, something that's on my heart, which is resourceful. So many people, they just don't think about how to solve things. And that creation of mind, the power of your mind, your ability of your mind to solve problems and to be resourceful is ultimately one of the key factors in being successful. So hope this finds you well. Have a great day. Until we talk again,